Okay, I think it's working now. I'd like to issue a statement, I guess. So, yeah, we'll just go from there. It's going to take a little bit because it's kind of written out. In all that you do, in all answers you seek, remember that it is all of you that are the veterans. If you sift through all of the disinfo and demoralization campaigns, separate the chaff from the wheat, you find that it is all of you that have seen the things that the vast majority cannot comprehend. And if they started to do so, they may not be able to handle what they uncover. You are the experienced. It is all of you whom have seen all the fakes, all of the real deals, all of the most evil and insidious actions. And it is all of you whom have experienced the most heinous and cunning targeted effects of their psyops. I'm a bad reader. It is all of you whom are hardened warriors in a glaring war of information and its distortion thereof. Since I returned, I've seen so many of the same names and recall the same display pictures even in the comments of people who are still seeking the truth about what is happening all around us. People who have been barraged for nearly an entire decade of lies and questionable events. You've held your ground hard through every campaign. You were the first to stand up and say enough of the audacious attempts to distort the truth in the Western world and abroad. It is all of you whom have withstood it better than I have. Clearly, as you are here, standing for the same thing today. It is all of you who first sounded the alarm against the multilateral movement in this internet and information ages. You led the technological charge against a cancerous ideology seeking to usurp power and all liberties from you and those you love under a banner of false platitudes and guile. This select group of people need all of you to think that you need to follow the leaders. This is why they psyoped your groups years earlier than everyone else, because you don't follow those leaders. They needed a head start on all of you who refuse to believe that leaving matters to unelected experts over our free will as individuals would benefit society. They need you to believe that you are stuck in a false dilemma of feeling helpless or committing crimes to help their optics. This is the most important part. This is formally called a false dichotomy or a black and white fallacy. There is a reason why you no longer learn logic in schools. It was a disarming of the mind in this information war. And yet, it was all of you that refused to turn your back on this reason, something that they can never achieve. You cannot convince me that it's pure coincidence that many of you have been seemingly disabled by a sudden disclosed tragedy of someone you may have considered a leader, whatever that may be. This is Sun Tzu, Art of War, and Saul Alinsky's Rules for Radicals Tactics in Action. Why are they doing this to you? The recent events over the past 12 months have caused a steady stream of regular people awakening to what is happening around us at a much faster pace, an exponential one, really. The establishment was unable to silence you after those years and millions of dollars spent trying to do so. Now, what were once intentionally divided streams of informations and thought processes are now meandering towards one another, creating a steady flowing river of exposure to a corrupt system, eroding and flowing over the once mighty barriers that safeguarded the elite's appearance of innocuous, benevolent leadership. They no longer have what was their best weapon against your efforts, the benefit of plausible deniability. In fact, they are losing very badly when you look at all, or when you look through all their media lies, illogical new rules, elections, and questionable events at the Capitol building have crumbled their public trust. They just resorted to questionable events and places, which they declare sacred spaces on live stream, but desecrate said declared spaces with every crooked law that they pass. They do this in an attempt to discredit the people that will not tolerate their now clear deception anymore. They are attempting to treat all those that don't accept this new order of things as they have treated all of you for almost 10 years, and maybe more, let's be fair. Bombarded, but especially these days, bombarded with marginalization, demoralization, and much more. And as you well know, every attempt is being made to keep power. Blackmail, bribery, violence, all forms of extortion are on the table. But let this be clear. This is not a sign of their current strength, but rather their current weakness. They have gone all in their gambit, and they cannot afford to lose this battle for information this time. Not this time, not right now. They must deceive you into thinking that you are weak, so that you do not do what you do best as truthers in this community specifically. They need something to shake you, to distract you. It is my belief that you are currently experiencing a direct attack by these powers by way of demoralization, as this is their only hope. They do not have the insurance of plausible deniability anymore. They need you silenced if they force a migration from their big tech sites to less controlled sites. They could not afford Jeff, and more importantly, his audience's reach, to have a public voice off leash for the next few weeks. They needed to do something to keep all of you demoralized and distracted at this time. I cannot tell you the status of Jet, as I may never know, and you may never know. What I can tell you is that there is clear indication that the truth is not being told in its entirety, and that there is a reason behind this. I can tell you by experience as well that some of those close to him may be withholding the information in what they believe is a noble pursuit. And they may not know that they are playing a role in a grander scheme to divert truthers from hitting the target on current events. While you are stuck in a feedback loop of theories running wild, unable to get closure on something and someone very close to you, you are not further hindering the reset's wounded efforts to seize power. They need you to forget about your strengths and feel weak and alone. But if all of you, those veterans of an information war, were working to actively expose the events that recently went down at the Capitol and other recent happenings, and finally broke through to the public with information on questionable events, their gig is up. They would no longer have the instruments to herd people blindly into what they want them to believe via emotion. All of you would show the people waking up that they are not alone in this struggle. And all of you would be the best able to explain the deception around them, more so than everybody else. They cannot handle extra hits, these people that are in power. The whole house of cards will go down. All of you in this community are those extra hits. You are the ideological hostage rescuers, for lack of better words. You are their medics. The January 6th martyrs, quote unquote, are getting through to normies as questionable. They are worried about the censorship that's happening. They see it, they're scared. They need their veterans. I believe that this is your calling and that you should share this far and wide, this message. You don't have to take my video, do it yourself. These are bad actors and tortured souls in high places. But there are also the good. The good is winning and is trying to run out the clock without violence. The bad is trying to make you think that the opposite is happening. They want to leave you so desperate that you're begging for leaders to feed you information, or you do something stupid to spoil that win. They want you to do anything else rather than what they've tried to deny from you, to be the veterans of this information war that you all are, and you all have been. Expose them all until they black it all out. Force their hand. Do what you do best and seize the chance to watch them drive their own nails into your victory sign. May truth, liberty, justice reign free in the West. May you find protection, closure, and refuge from all attempts to harm you or your freedoms. May all lies and bad actors be exposed. I intend to continue working towards this inevitability. May God be with you at this turning point in history. Thank you.